you can't cut out our Chipotle.
Is it being offered out there?
So, yeah, obviously a exciting time of year. Big Ten tournament is always special. I think it's one of the great sporting events. Excited to be moving forward. I thought we ended the season on a really positive note. Obviously a 13-1 run to end the game. I thought it was very fitting that we had good balance. We got some stops when we needed to. Things that you have to do to win games in postseason, and I thought that it was nice to get going, make some shots in the second half, and I thought really be very efficient on the offensive side with a lot of layups, a lot of cuts, and that's all opened up into our ability to shoot the three. So don't know our opponent. Obviously going to get a team that shoots the ball very well, that relies a lot on jump shots. Both these teams are very, very capable of putting some baskets together from the perimeter. So we'll see what that looks like and start preparing tonight after the outcome.
You're hoping for 4 games in 4 days. What can Perez Johnson give you in that kind of stretch?
Minutes. Yeah, physicality, athleticism. I think we all have to understand he hasn't played a month. So there's some he's a freshman. There's some limitations, I think, to we're not just throwing him back in the starting lineup. So we'll see how he progresses. He's been great in practice. He's impacted practice a great deal, and I know his rebounding and his defense will be needed sometimes at some point throughout this postseason.
Is there anything about his style of play that makes it easier to acclimate? He's not a high usage guy. Kind of brings the same thing all the time. Is it easier to acclimate again?
Yeah, guard, rebound, and run. Again, we were playing a lot of those bigs. He and Tommy and Ben a lot together. We're not doing that as much. That's not to say we won't go back to that. But I think the one thing through all the 11 games missed by starters in league play is that we've been able to adapt to different styles of play and play different ways. So excited to have him back. We missed him. He's athletic. He's a rebounding machine. So that piece will be very welcome.
Will Riley's played really well down the stretch. What do you feel like was the turning point with him?
I don't know if there was maybe the Michigan State game, if you want to have a half, and then he got sick. But I think it's just growth. I think it's the natural maturation with freshmen that play, and then he got a little confidence, and now he's just blossomed. He's as confident as any player I've seen. He's just he's a focal point of what we do. He's a focal point of what opponents are trying to stop, and he's turned into a heck of a player. But maybe it was that point. It just took him some time, and I think he's more comfortable on the defensive side, obviously, than he was early.
Does the way you finish the season give you confidence that you're finding the consistency you need to string together those 4 wins and win this tournament?
I think that there's a lot of value in that. I think there's a lot of value in finding ways to win games different. We won a lot of league games by big margins. It's nice to win a close one and have to make plays, and it's nice to become a little more settled on go-to guys and how we're doing things, and all those things play into winning in the postseason. And then I thought we got stops, and those are all things you have to do at the end of a game in postseason when they're all close.
Just a couple more on Perez. Is there any minute restriction, or is that conditioning based for him?
Conditioning based, and he's been working really hard at the conditioning piece. We did a lot of up and down early in the week. And he needed oxygen, so he'll be back and he'll be fine. And the good thing about postseason is long media timeouts, so you get a chance to really catch your breath.
I guess with the timeline for him, if you had thrown out the Big Ten idea, the tournament idea, I think in New York, you brought it. Was this always about the window, or did that develop?
This was all doctors. This was all doctors. This doesn't have anything to do with me throwing a timeline out. This is what they told us. This is how long it needed. They told us when the scan would be. So this was all medical.
I guess with Merez back in practice, I guess one, did you have everybody? And then two, when's the last time you had everybody?
I know we had everybody a game or the practice before Indiana. I'm not sure we had any, maybe much more than that. The West Coast swing. Yeah, I got to look. I don't. It's been a long time, and it's just been incredible because the energy's good. It's not where we're sick and have guys, but they feel terrible. It's back, and we've got just great energy again, and we've got a lot of bodies. So, yeah, that brings a smile to my face. I'd have to look. Somebody told me, maybe Indiana. I know it was right after the West Coast swing that everything kind of went kapoof. But I have to look at that. It's been a long time.
I mean, to have that whole group and maybe just the idea of what that group could be that you just didn't see for months. Like, what to have it now in March? What difference does that make?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think you want to be playing your best, and we want to have all your options this time of year. I think we had 11 games with starters out in league play, so over half our games we played without our whole group. That's unfortunate, but I know we're really, really good when we have them all, and that doesn't mean anything now. It means we've got to compete, we've got to play hard, and we've got to be able to utilize all those guys. But it's nice to have the option as a coach. You've got all your weapons.
Draven is the only guy back from that team that made a run last year. Ty was on that team, obviously. Is there anything they can talk to the guys about what to expect?
Yeah, they've done that a lot. Talking about the consistency of showing up every day, that there's good moments, there's bad moments. You want to win in multiple days. You're going to have ups and downs as a player. You're going to have ups and downs as a team, and you have to withstand that. And you do that with your effort and your togetherness. And so those guys have been a big help with all that, along with Keaton and RJ. And those guys are valuable pieces from leadership as well.
Brad, you all three of your guys that won all Big Ten honors or international first-year players. What's the significance of that for you?
Well, it makes me feel good that we're recruiting good players. That we know that they all succeeded. I don't think you ever envisioned that there'd be. I still consider Tommy a freshman, even though the NCAA gave him a label as a sophomore. But the young guys grasp it. They caught on. They had success. They found success. I think that's great for us in the future. That we're going to play young guys. That young guys can come in here and impact our program at a very high level. And I think it's a tribute to our staff. I think it's Adam Fletcher, our nutrition people, that they've put 20 pounds on Will Riley. That Tommy's got abs now. That that KJ's healthy. He came in with tremendous tendonitis and didn't do anything in the fall. And so I think it's just a tribute to everybody involved that those guys were able to achieve at a high level. And for future recruits out there, it's a pretty positive thing that we've got a lot of good things in place.
To dovetail off of that question, you saw last year with Draven, just have that more confident in March and pop up and really make a difference. Do you look down your bench this year, whether it's a Jake Davis or Draven again, or something that can happen?
Yeah, I'm probably a little more confident this year than I was last year, just from the standpoint these guys have played. Right. Last year we were in a pretty good rut, in terms of these guys were playing. We didn't have to go as deep into our bench. These guys have all had to contribute. These guys have all started at different times. I think we had a stretch of maybe 7 games. We had 7 different starting lineups. So I feel really confident knowing that there's productivity and there's guys that have been there in the moments and had success. So yeah, a lot of confidence there.
It's a little tougher as a 7 seed compared to last year. What's your thoughts on 4 games in 4 days?
If you can name the favorite in this tournament, let me know. Izzo and I were talking the other day. I don't think there's a favorite. Good luck. We've proven that in league, that anybody can beat anybody. I mean, You know, Michigan State lost to Southern Cal. You know, we got upset. We lost to, you know, Nebraska, who didn't happen to make it, and they're a very good team. So I don't know how you pick a favorite. I think it's picking the team that gets hot. I think you find a team that is, you know, gets a break or two, and they could be the champion.
I'm curious if Will talked about his growth defensively. If you expected the kind of arc defensively that he's been on this year, obviously he's got the length and the size, but did you think he'd maybe pick up on it like he has?
I think we expected some struggles, being that he was 174 pounds when he got here. But the fact that he's 196 now, and then Will's really competitive. Will's got an ultra competitive streak, so we knew he would get better. And he's exceeded all that. He's done everything that we've asked. He's worked at it. Will likes to win, and that's an area that he's worked extremely hard at getting better at, both guarding the ball and off the ball, and really pleased with his growth.
KJ brought up Kylan Malcolm and the all-defensive team. I remember a similar conversation we had with Trent and Coleman. I'm curious if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's really frustrating. Everybody values different things defensively. You know, we're one of the worst teams in the country at forcing turnovers. We've always been that. So they like guards who get steals. They like bigs who block shots. You know, we like guys who can guard multiple positions, and just make somebody's life miserable. So everybody's value of what a good defender is different. I wouldn't trade him for anybody in the country. Guarding the basketball, and I don't care what size. And you can ask Cooper Flagg to Mark Sears, both All-Americans, and he's done yeoman's work night in and night out for us. So, in my book, he's the best defender in college basketball on the basketball, and yeah, it's frustrating. Thank you.
Thanks,